Hello, everybody. We're going to talk a little bit about personal finances and spending. I am a person who is very frugal, and I am often quite shocked by how much things cost and how much people spend on items, especially within the last few years. Um, I lived in New York for a while, so having a car was definitely not any concern of mine. So, haven't really bought a car since 2010, I don't believe. So that's one thing that's often on my mind. Um, so, for instance, the average American is paying $1,600 a month for their household, either rent or mortgage. Which $1,600 doesn't seem that bad for your house. The thing that seems pretty high to me is the average American car payment now, and this is as of 2021, was $575 a month. $575 a month for the average car payment. And a lot of households are going to have two of those car payments. And healthcare, health insurance, the average American is paying $450 for health insurance. $135 for auto insurance, which doesn't seem that bad if your car is four times that much, the payment for it. Gasoline, $250 a month. This seems like a lot to me, but I guess people drive around a lot. I live in a small town right now, so I don't drive around very much. I have an old vehicle that does not have air conditioning, so I do not drive around very much. Um, $250 a month is what the average person spends. The average phone bill is between $61 and $114, considering whether or not you're paying for your phone in your bill or if you're just paying for the service with your bill. And the average person in 2021 spent $160 a month on clothing. This really surprised me because I was like, that's $2,000 a year on clothes. The average person. I haven't spent that much in the last 10 years combined. Um, Now, the average person also pays $1,035 income tax. So the average person or family, however you want to look at it, whether it's a single income or a dual income household, is going to be spending between $4,300 and $5,200 a month. So basically, the average family spends $5,000 a month on their house, their car, their health insurance, their auto insurance, their gas, their phone, clothes, and their income tax. $5,000, which comes out to $60,000 a year. Um, I personally, at this time, do not have a house payment. I'm living in an inherited house that's paid off. I do not have a car payment. I do not have health insurance, which I don't really recommend, but that's just the position that I've been in for the last several years. Not having health insurance. I pay $45 a month for auto insurance. I pay $100 a month on average for gas, $50 for phone, and I'm going to be very generous and say $20 a month for clothes because I do buy socks and underwear frequently. Not working now and haven't worked for the last year or two, so I'm paying zero in income tax. So the average person is paying $5,000 a month for their house, their car, their health insurance, their auto insurance, their gas, their phone, their clothes, and income tax. And I pay $215. I kind of think a lot of homeless people drink that much alcohol a month because I used to work at a grocery store and we would have a lot of people come in and buy alcohol with money that they were given. So it is possible to be very frugal even in 2022. For instance, currently I'm thinking of escaping this very boring small suburb and this free house, which tells you how bad it is to live here if a free house isn't appealing enough to live here, and thinking about moving back to Austin and getting a studio apartment for around $800 if possible. And so Still, I would only be spending $1,000 a month, whereas the average person spends five. Um, I'm not necessarily judging the average person. Will say that buying expensive cars is very stupid because it's a depreciating asset. Like, it is literally just every day that you own it, it's worth less. Um, and a lot of cars are all for show. And it's like, if you really, worked on yourself and your own personality and your thoughts about more important things, you wouldn't feel the need to have a super flashy car. Um, Health insurance, yes, is definitely a huge mistake. I should have health insurance. Everyone should have health insurance. Part of the reason why I would love to move to a different country is because they offer you health insurance. And you don't have to worry about getting shot, which, in our great country, you do have to worry about getting shot. So, very interested as to what the YouTube world thoughts are on spending. I see a lot of, this is what I make in a year, this is what I spend in a week. I see young millionaire guys and their response to what people make and what people spend. Um, just curious as to, what people think about getting by spending less. You have so much more freedom, both time, and you're not obligated to pay for things. I can remember, in my late 20s, being severely upset that I was, making $20,000 a year, but due to my good credit, I owed $26,000. I don't think that's a position that most people should be in. It's not good for pretty much anything. Um, so I'm saying these things about finances because I want other people not to be in debt and to save and to think about their future and think about, you don't really want to have to work um, 50 weeks a year, 40 hours a week until you're 70 years old. So, if at all possible, think about ways to save money, cut corners on your phone bill, on your cable, gasoline, groceries, buy generic cereal. Doesn't seem like much, but might save you $50 in a year. Get a cheaper phone service, save $20 a month. That saves you several $100s. All these kind of just little incremental things will add up to literally a couple of $1,000. And if you do that for 20 years, that's a lot of money. All right, I think I've wandered on long enough. Have a good evening.